Trump's 50% tariff bomb and why India is fighting back. So 50%, yeah, you guys heard that right, man. The United States just dropped a 50% tariff bomb on India. And why? Because India had the audacity to keep buying Russian oil. Just like Europe, just like China, even like us here in the United States, America. But somehow when India does it, it's an international crisis. All right, let's try to break this down. All right, guys, welcome back to The Baseline. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys very much. So I want you to picture this. You guys wake up, you grab your coffee, you check the headlines, and then boom, the United States has just slapped India with a 50% tariff on $86 billion worth of goods. Not 10, not 20, 50. That's not a trade strategy. That's an economic sledgehammer. And here's where it all gets crazy, because this isn't just about oil. This is about power. It's about currency. It's about who gets to call the shots in a global game that's been rigged for what, 70 years maybe? So if you think this story stops in New Delhi, we all got to think again, because this move is about to hit you, me, us, all of us. And yeah, even you guys sitting in the UK, Canada, Australia, all of us across the United States. It's going to affect our groceries, our phones, even our prescriptions, because all of it is about to feel the heat. This isn't just foreign policy. This is personal economics that affect all of us. So here's what we got to unpack. Firstly, why is Trump singling out India of all countries when everyone else is still buying Russian oil? And what does a 50% tariff really mean for regular people, not just the politicians, not just the CEOs, for regular people? And here's the kicker to it all, right? Is this the move that accidentally blows up America's global dominance? Or did the United States already lose that? You guys got to give me your opinion on that one. But wait till you hear what went down in Alaska. I mean, during that Trump and Putin summit, let's just say, if you thought this was heading towards some type of resolution, we all got to buckle up, because that meeting was about as productive as a TikTok debate. It was insane. Now, here's what went down. India joins BRICS. We all know that, right? And that includes a number of countries. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And suddenly they're not just trading oil, but they're bypassing the dollar. So India paying Russia in rupees and rubles. I mean, making currency swap deals with the UAE. And that for Washington, for the United States, for Trump, is like waving a red cape in front of a very angry bull. And that bull just happens to be named Donald Trump. So on August 6th, Trump pulls the trigger, right? Signs an executive order that takes existing tariffs and doubles them to 50%. And then boom, India's exporters from textiles to pharmaceuticals suddenly start staring at walls they can't even climb. And this isn't just an economic slap. It seems like a punishment, right? It's a message: play by the dollar rules or get crushed. Now, why India and why now? And let's be real, because the timing of all this stuff, it's not an accident. India's been growing. I mean, they've been growing fast. They've got the 5th largest economy in the world right now, a booming tech sector, and they've been becoming America's biggest trade partner in a lot of these sectors. But here's the part that really stings. They didn't just grow, they grew independent. And that's what scares Washington. Because if you control your currency, you're able to control your energy. You don't need America to approve your every move. And for a White House obsessed with keeping the dollar on top, that is a nightmare scenario. Now, what's the human cost of all this? Because that's a really interesting thing that comes up. And we got to talk about who really pays. I mean, in India, farmers, textile workers, shrimp fishermen, people who never once sat in a BRICS strategy meeting. And overnight, orders from the United States, they dry up. Factories slow down, workers go home with empty pockets. And in the United States, I mean, if we don't think this is going to touch us, I think we all have to think again, because India's IT powers Wall Street, Silicon Valley, even your customer service hotlines that are sometimes frustrating, right? But disrupt those systems and the ripple effect hits your business, your bills, even your healthcare. Now, speaking of healthcare, did you guys know that India supplies 60% of the world's generic drugs? So next time you pick up your prescription, don't be surprised if that price tag suddenly doubles or triples. It's crazy. Now, the backfire to all this and the BRICS and the boom, here's the kicker, right? Because what's happening is instead of isolating India, Trump's tariffs are pushing them closer to China and Russia. Now, think about that, because the very move meant to keep India in line is the one accelerating the rise of a multipolar world. BRICS is already a $32 trillion economic bloc, 30 to 40% of global GDP, over a fifth of the world trade. And now India is doubling down on that partnership, building systems that don't need the dollar, don't need United States approval, and don't need Washington's permission to do business. And that's a global shift. Now, it brings us to what happened in Alaska and the collapse between Putin and Trump, or however you want to frame it. Because just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, there was that Alaska summit. Trump meets with Putin, 3 hours of talks, lots of big words, zero actual agreements. Putin wanted Ukraine to cede territory. Zelensky wasn't having it. Talks collapsed. That's basically what happened. And with that collapse, boom, no pathway to dial back the tariffs. No off-ramp, just more and more escalation. How this does the world any good is just beyond me. But here we are, a 50% tariff already live, threats of secondary sanctions looming, and a White House that seems more interested in winning a shouting match than solving an actual crisis. But here's what we all need to watch, because this story isn't just about trade. It's about who gets to write the rules of the next global order. And if you think the dollar is untouchable, wow, guys, I think we got to think again. Now, stay tuned, because in the next episodes, we're going to break down exactly how this shift could redefine the global economy and why fallout might be bigger than anyone's actually ready for. Anyway, guys, do I have this right? Do I have this wrong? Let me know in the comments section below. And I want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys watching The Baseline, and we'll catch you in the next round. All right. Cheers, everybody.